My favorite war game or Steel Division? I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for the release patch for this and then subsequent balancing patches and whatnot. So far, I think I like Wargame more. Steel Division, I like the phase type gameplay. I feel like it suits it well. But I can't imagine having that in Wargame. Uh, I feel like they're different games. They're similar. But I think I like Wargame better. Steel Division though, so far, I like it. I mean, I've got how many hours on it? Let me look. 45, 45 hours on it so far. But I don't know. This definitely needs balancing. I feel like the go-to strat is just, and it makes sense, like in Wargame, but Wargame is not so reliant on it. But it seems like the go-to strat is just get air power, have complete air superiority, and just murder everything with your airplanes. Because unlike in Wargame, anti-air in this is pretty worthless as far as actually shooting down planes. Whereas in Wargame, you know, you can get one Tunguska and you shoot down countless planes as long as you keep it supplied. In Wargame, air power is important, but I wouldn't say it's vital. Like, you can still win in Wargame without having a massive air advantage. But it seems like in this you have to have air superiority if you want to win. Which is fine, it makes sense, but it does kind of suck that, you know, especially if you're playing 1v1s. If you don't have air units in your deck, then you're kind of boned. Having dogfighters is pretty much a prerequisite, a mandatory unit to have in your decks. I count helis as air. No. I don't. I don't use helicopters too often. When I do, it's mainly the anti-tank ones. I don't use them for ground support that often. Usually in Wargame, you can just get like some Abrams or Challengers and you'll be fine. As far as tank-to-tank combat, but the helicopters are good to have there. How's it going? It is as it is. Welcome back. We're talking about Wargame and Steel Division. But yeah, even in Wargame though, another reason that I don't even worry too much about tanks is because of the jets. You know, you can get a jet like the A-10, for example, and just have no issues with enemy tanks, as long as the enemy anti-air is not present. Anti-air is definitely more of a threat in Wargame because they can actually kill your planes. I mean, they can in this too, but it's not as useful. It's mainly just used to scare them off. Yeah. Like, usually when I play Wargame in the tactical matches, the 10v10 tactical games, I'll just play an airborne deck. I have a US airborne deck that I play that has F-16s and Tomcats, and I just use those to maintain air dominance, and I have like a couple of bombers to support ground troops, but I mainly just use my jets in the tactical games just to counter enemy air units. You know, I see an enemy bomber flying in, you know, send out my jets, shoot it down. Don't have to deal with that anymore because it's a freaking tactical match. They're not gonna get the points to afford another one if they can even get another one. How's it going, Edgy King? Welcome back. But yeah, I think I like Wargame more than this so far. I mean, I'm still reserving judgment on this until the release patch and the subsequent, you know, balancing patches. They really need to balance this game still, no doubt. It's gotten better from when I first started playing it, but it still needs some work. But so far, like, I was playing War Dragon. That's the name. War Dragon? Red Dragon. Red Dragon. I always call it War Dragon as a fucking joke. Red Dragon. I was playing Red Dragon last night. I was in a 10v10 match in destruction game mode, straight to the point with naval units. It was a destruction match with 30,000 starting points, so it's 3,000 points per person. And 60,000 points to win. It was a really long match. And I wasn't using my airborne deck, I was using my naval deck. Because I just wanted to see how crazy I had to get with my naval landings. Because I had a bunch, like pretty much all my navy in that deck that I was playing was infantry based naval units, so you just bring them in with the LCUs and land them. And I just waited and saved up a bunch of points and just called them all in at once. And like people were leaving, so I would get more and get more points as well, and then I just calling more. This is fucking crazy. It was fun. But I didn't really have any air units in that deck. So we were getting pretty fucked up in the air war. And that did cause a lot of issues because like I had a Lafayette's, and one of the guys on the enemy team, their deck, they had a shitload of sea defense helicopters with the, you know, fucking sea missiles. So he'd bring out like 8 of them and just fire all their rockets out of Lafayette, and they would just explode and go back and rearm. Same. How's it going, Snitch Ton? Welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, absolutely. The planes are, I think they're too durable against anti-air. I think I saw one plane ever when I first got the game get shot down by anti-air, and there was like 12 guns firing on it. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. Like, I mean, they even had a dev blog update about it. They were talking about like, hey guys, this is how you're supposed to use anti-air. And it's like, alright, that's cool and all, dude, but that's not fun. I get the idea, but when you essentially force people to shove a bunch of dogfighters into their deck, it kind of forces a meta that nobody wants. At least, in my experience, you know, reading, you know, comments online and watching videos and stuff on the subreddit for this game. It seems like it's just forcing a meta that nobody really wants. Like, I don't even, like, the only reason I put anti-air units in my deck, like, I'll get, like, 1 or 2, and I'll use them to hold down a freaking field like it's a machine gun, to just shoot at infantry. And, like, I don't intend them to do anything to air units, so, yeah, I don't know, it's insane. But yeah, even then, like, when you shove your decks full of the dogfighters with their 20mm cannons, it's really easy to also have them do ground support. Like, it just seems like dogfighters kind of do everything. The only real threat to the dogfighters is other dogfighters, and that's if you get, I was about to say unlucky, but I guess you could outplay people like I do sometimes, where, like, you know, if they fly their dogfighters too far and they're at like your side of the map, and they have to turn around because it's the map. As they turn around, you can bring in yours right behind them. But for the most part, yeah, it just seems like dogfighters are the end-all unit. Pretty insane. Because I mean, they can pick apart infantry, they can pick machine gun units, anti-tank units, the AT guns. I've even seen them tear apart the self-propelled guns, the what's it, the Martyr, stuff like that. And on top of that, I mean, you just saw, I don't know how many people are watching, but in the match that I just played, I had my dogfighters flying around like 4 fucking anti-air units and firing at the anti-air units and killing them. Like, I don't know, like the only anti-air unit that I think is actually useful and viable is the 88mm flak on the German side. And even then, I still use that more for anti-tank than anything else. But it does make a convenient anti-air unit because it fires 1 round. Some planes, it'll just, after firing 1 round down, if it gets a good shot off, it'll immediately make them turn around. And it has the longest range as well. So if you get a really good shot off at like the 1200 meter, I think it's 1600 meter range. And you get a shot off at 1600 meters before, you know, the plane even gets close to coming in the range of this target, and it immediately flies off. You know, that's good. That's actually useful. But I wouldn't count on it. Maybe if you have 2 ADAs and they both fire at the same one, that's like pretty much a guarantee it'll turn around and fly off. But they're big, make easy targets. They're really easy to suppress, you know? I mean, if you send in 2 air units at the same 88, it fires at 1, you know, maybe just sit halfway suppressed, still flying at it. Okay, gotta reload. Planes are still flying at them. Okay, now the 88 is suppressed because the planes were able to get shots off at it. And even then, if the first plane did get completely knocked out and had to fly away in the first shot, you saw the second plane there, or 3 or 4, or however many you brought in, because the game's fucking absurd like that. You know, now they're picking it off, and now it's, you know, now it's pinned down. It can't fire at all, and now you just have your planes flying around it, mowing it down. 37 and 70 points. Why not? I don't. Air 38 mil. 75. It's insane. But yeah, this is like the only viable unit for anti-air as far as actually dealing with air units. Even then, you only get 2 of them. You only get 2 of them. And that's in this. Have I played War Thunder? I have. Been playing it a lot recently. I haven't been streaming it though because War Thunder always gives me a bunch of crap.